Meghan Markle's nanny drama is returning. It was louder, messier, and much more uncomfortable than anyone anticipated. But let's not pretend to be shocked for years. The reality of life in the Sussex home, behind the Montecito smiles and curated podcast appearances, has been, let's just say, far from relaxed. The most recent change is Meghan's longtime nanny, whom she has reportedly had for the past 5 years, is out, not with a bang, but with a weary sigh and a new title house manager. But even that advertising was hard to achieve. This woman has been requesting the change for what seems like forever, but Meghan has been avoiding it, as if it were a Netflix deal that doesn't pay enough. The royal couple is once again looking for a replacement since the nanny finally took a stand. What makes this such a big deal, since this has happened more than 3 times before? According to reports, Meghan and Harry hired 3 nannies in 6 weeks in 2019. Insiders claim that working for the Sussex is like auditioning for Broadway, but there are no cheers, only IEs. In fact, it's almost 1 nanny every fortnight. Surprise that isn't genuine. Greetings and a bit of tiptoeing about Meghan's reputation. Now this is crazy stuff when it comes to auditions. Although agencies whisper the truth to potential candidates, they are warned not to know who they are meeting with before even meeting Meghan and Harry nanny. Heads up everyone, it's Meghan Markle. What is the reason for the secrecy? Because the Sussex are wary of leaks. However, there is a catch. When she first meets them, the nanny must continue to appear surprised. It's more than just an interview. It's a stage performance. Furthermore, the work is no picnic even after you are hired. Rumor has it that Meghan is unsure of what she wants. One minute she wants someone to make the children sleep through the night, and the next she wants someone to do it. The same individual must be energetic throughout the day. It's not possible. These are kids, not dolls. And how is your night nanny meant to manage snack time, play dates, and know if she is sleep deprived? Don't touch that all day. The fact that Meghan's own mother, Doria, who had previously been a reliable source of support, is now gone to yes, even her mother has abandoned the palace, which has become a pandemic. According to sanctuary sources, Doria grew tired of Meghan's persistent whining and domineering behavior. She has packed her belongings and, according to sources, has no interest in participating in the daily turmoil. I'm out if your own mother is like me. That speaks for itself. The depressing irony is as follows. According to reports, Meghan continues to feel like she is missing something, the emotional connection with her kids, despite all the assistance she has received. Mothers who depend much on nannies, particularly those who work full-time, often have this fear. Meghan is terrified by the fact that the children begin to gravitate toward the person who spends the most time with them. However, she prefers nannies who can handle everything without taking up too much of their love, rather than spending more time with them herself. It's a no-win situation. In addition to all of that, there's the laborious recruiting procedure, the emotional detachment, the anxiety about her image, and now the failure of even her closest circle. And you have a family that appears perfect on Instagram, but is actually running on fumes. The childcare issue is not the only cause of this nanny crisis. It's indicative of a larger issue. Meghan's post-royal existence is characterized by control, isolation, and the gradual breakdown of her once strong support network. Regardless of whether it's employees or family, the trend is always the same. Even though they arrive with optimism, people often leave in silence and frustration. For some reason, Meghan is always left alone, perplexed as to why everyone else is leaving. Some of the personnel whisper about Meghan's Montecito life as though it were a castle with velvet walls, beautiful on the outside, but echoing within for a reason. According to insiders, you enter hoping for warmth, purpose, and perhaps even glitz. But what you frequently discover is a bewildering array of support, procedures, mood swings, and a relentless need to micromanage everything while simultaneously asserting that you are too busy to care. Consider the way these nannies are recruited. It's a 3-step gauntlet that feels more like an attempt to join a cult than taking care of 2 kids. You first encounter someone from the company. After that, one of Meghan's own assistants transfers you. People who, by the way, are also constantly moving in and out. Then at last, there's the third round encounter between Meghan and Harry. But even that time has a strange twist. You must act as if you are ignorant of their identity. When you meet any random Californian couple with no royal baggage, just grin. Everyone knows it's a hoax, but you have to follow the rules and act as if you do. What is the need for secrecy? The pair thinks that everyone is trying to divulge something, be it about the wallpaper in Archie's bedroom or a disagreement over nighttime snacks. The irony is that the more Meghan and Harry attempt to manage the story, the more chaotic everything seems to become, and they are understandably afraid of stories making their way into tabloids. And then there's the element of envy. It's quite another to employ someone to assist with the children. When the children begin to form a relationship with them, it's a different matter to become angry. According to sources, Meghan starts to feel uncomfortable when the kids become overly bonded to their caregivers. For example, if someone is feeding them, enticing them, lulling them to sleep, and keeping them company throughout their fevers, a bond will naturally develop, but Meghan seems to view that assistance as a challenge rather than accepting it. She wants assistance but not intimacy. Children are not compatible with that. Which brings us back to Doria. The intention was for Meghan's mother to be the stable anchor in the family. She had been there for a long time, always in the background, always encouraging, but eventually even she had had enough. And Doria left because the constant stress and complaints were exhausting. She does adore her grandkids, though. Meghan's temperament, control problems, and, as some would call it, unceasing emotional intensity were too much for her to handle. It seems that Doria made an effort. She truly tried. But there are times when love simply isn't enough. All of this, combined with the constant unattainability of peace, contributes to a growing sense of abandonment in the home. One at a time. Those who used to be pillars, employees, friends, and family members. Our departure point from Meghan was on the left side of the stage. Fewer and fewer people are staying to share the burden with her as she continues to move, plan, and manage. Behind the scenes. Hollywood is not blind either. Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Serena Williams were once among Meghan's celebrity supporters. However, her birthday has come and gone lately, and only a small group of her devoted followers have said anything. The well-known people are now silent. No shade, no tales, no likes. Merely far away. Because at some point, when you're in the inner circle and begin to see that the drama never ends, you come to the conclusion that peace is more important than nearness. And for Meghan, that quiet is louder than any headline. Even the media has begun to change over the course of several years. Whether it was a lifestyle interview, a podcast episode, or a thinly veiled dig at the royals presented as empowerment, Meghan Markle knew she could rely on her favorite authors and editors to turn anything she touched into gold. Journalists are always there to support her there, but even that source is rapidly dwindling. The most devoted voice is still speaking. Brian E. Gordon, Meghan's unofficial mouthpiece, as she has been dubbed, is a reporter who formerly covered her own fight with addiction and mental illness, but now appears solely focused on supporting Meghan no matter what. However, there are also numerous laudatory essays. Completely captivated by Meghan's generosity and unjust treatment, but utterly oblivious to the obvious trend. However, even that friendship seems to be more commercial than real. The outlets that publish those pieces seem to be doing PR management rather than showing genuine loyalty through their meals, SMS, and trips to Montecito. Meghan is not honored in the way you would expect. She has actually filed a lawsuit against the Daily Mail, a newspaper. Brian E.'s glowing coverage has inexplicably been allowed to slip through. It's thought that it's a deliberate move, part of a delicate plan to lower tensions. Perhaps persuade Harry to give up his legal fight against the British tabloid press. However, it is naive to set that as the objective. Meghan never forgets and she never forgives. She may put up with some people for the sake of appearances, but the animosity continues to simmer behind closed doors. In contrast, Angela Levin, Prince Harry's biographer, has provided a candid assessment. Meghan didn't fall into disarray, she claims. She orchestrated the disruption. She wasn't married into the royal family in order to support it. She arrived with her own goal of changing it, questioning it, and if it didn't submit to her, she would split off and transform herself into something even greater than a duchess. However, the reinvention has not proceeded as expected. Her hopes for a career in Hollywood have been dashed. People were not particularly impressed by the massive Netflix agreement. In place of red carpets and film sets, the acting career is still in hiatus, and Spotify quietly ended its walk archetypes. The headlines now cover Meghan's tale of personnel leaving, family disputes, and unposted birthday greetings. The princess tale has vanished, and the fairy tale is broken. The social awkwardness that even her supporters cannot overlook is another issue. When in the midst of high society, Meghan frequently seems out of place, fidgeting, tugging at Harry's arm, and glancing about as if unsure of what is expected of her. During Troop, this was seen on the palace balcony by royal watchers. The hue when Harry yelled at her to stop turning around and stand still. The moment went viral because it was real, not because it was dramatic. It highlighted the discrepancy between how she sees herself and how others see her. For his part, Harry seems to be growing more aloof, less enthusiastic, and more robotic in the public eye. No longer is he the liberated California father or the wild, cheeky prince. He seems stuck between two worlds that no longer want him, and caught between a wife who is still battling everyone and a family that has given up on contacting him. He has made an effort to be. Meghan is at the center of it all, surrounded by fewer people who are trying to maintain control while everything is slipping away. Friends stop writing back, employees come and go. The splendor of reinvention diminishes a little with each silent departure, not with fury, not with scandal, but with a silence that speaks for itself, and the family is estranged. So here's the real question. Is Meghan Markle facing a string of bad luck when it comes to staff and family, or is she the common denominator in all this drama? I'd love to hear your take in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into the biggest celebrity stories and royal shakeups, don't just watch from the sidelines. Hit that subscribe button and join us here at InsiderUS, where we cut through the noise and bring you the story behind the headlines.